Yeah, he was tripping for sure. I don't know why.
Honestly, did not know who he was. I obviously I found out quick because people start posting videos and like throwback stuff, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I've been hearing his name for a minute for at least the last 2 years over in the Red Pill community. They hate that boy, so they were celebrating.
Oh, you did know.
Daniel
Caught. Would know. I would have no idea.
I knew that
Daniel would know. I can't do it.
For those of you that don't know, Derek Jackson, he cheated on his wife. For a couple of years now, like Daniel said, he's been making like relationship style videos about like men need to do better and that not stop being ain't shit niggas and stuff like that, and just a whole bunch of malarkey, obviously.
You know what it's like? It's like going, it's like hanging out somewhere you don't normally be, like at the park or like outside of a liquor store waiting for your homies, and somebody random you don't know, like just kind of around, like you want some of this? No thanks, I don't smoke. They'd be like, good, it's not good for you.
Yeah,
that's exactly that's exactly how this dude came off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then it's so funny because I told you, like I had no idea who this guy was. I don't religiously follow like YouTube families or like Facebook, you know what I mean? Like those self-made reality stars or whatever. So I had no idea who it was. So it took me like an hour to figure out the whole thing. But it's like, if you kind of put yourself out there for attention, essentially, and then turn it into income somehow, everything you do is kind of driven by that sense. So it's like, whether it's good or bad, does it really matter to them, or is it just views and money in their pocket?
You follow Abba and Preach, Daniel?
Every now and then they'll get suggested in my YouTube account.
They have they made a video in response to this, and I don't know the difference between those two guys, to be honest, as far as their names.
Oh, so now you got like other YouTube families, like dusting other ones.
But like, damn, they were saying that like they were asking or one of them was asking a question at the end of the video that I watched, basically saying like, do you think it's genuine in like his apology, or do you think it's more so like he's just trying to like maintain his the platform he's kind of built, because that's what his image is, like don't cheat on your wife, about his spouse or whatever, seemingly about his spouse or whatever, kind of for lack of a better term, kind of advocating simping to a degree or whatever, and
no, not to a degree, to a T.
Yeah,
advocating simping.
And without, if he hadn't made this video with his wife or gone back to his wife, even let's say he just lets the marriage fall apart, then what platform does he have to sit on then? After he's built this. Did
you see all the comments about? I guess that's the wife, the girl's body language, and how he's like holding her hand with both hands and shit. He's like, it's like, yeah, like like on the inside, he's like, you better act right, like just how we rehearsed. You know what I'm saying? Just like. Read the prompt.
I saw one today that Gio shared. It was kind of making comment on her body, and I was like, damn, this shit is wild. But it's like it's so weird, like when you see things like that, because it's like I understand what people are saying, but at the same time, no, that's not like, she doesn't look crazy. She looks like she's at her home chilling. Like they act like she was looking like super wild or like crazy ratchet or something, or just awful or something. But it was like, no, she just looks like a woman who's chilling at her house. Like, she can't have a bonnet on in her own house. She can't fucking be fully clothed in her own home. Like,
that's got nothing to do with it. I don't buy into that.
What's wrong with the way that this woman looks? Like,
it's momentary. So it's momentary.
But it's just so crazy how like how that's kind of where somebody's thoughts went over the whole thing of him cheating. Oh, no wonder he was cheating because she looked like this. Like, what? Are you what? Whatever. But
it's like I said, it's momentary. Not every single person looks their best, like they're trying to impress everybody at all times. That's ridiculous.
For sure. Let me introduce the podcast real quick, and then we'll continue. What's going on, Piglets? It's your boy Taylor B, and I'm joined by my motivated co-host Daniel and Joey. Welcome to another installment of Culture by the Uncultured. But before we go any further, be sure to click that like or subscribe button, and remember, Piglets, Culture by the Uncultured is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Culture by the Uncultured. That's the end of that. Back to Derek Jackson. Yeah. I've seen.
Okay, wait, time out. Time out. We keep saying his name, but what's the wife's name?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Okay, well, yeah, it's our next topic.
She's. I don't think she's ever been in like any of his videos before. She's never been seen before. This was the first time.
All this means is we care as much about her as he does. So, whatever.
Somebody,
next.
I saw a post that said, like, you mean to tell me every time he was making one of those videos in his car, he was either coming from cheating or going to cheat? It's like, yo, bro. Like,
he was efficient, man. That's how you get your time together. Slots like that, bro.
She was probably in the back seat. Talk about me. Look, I'm about to go live. Hey, everybody. Missing my wife again.
Oh man, that shit was so crazy.
Could you imagine? I mean, ultimately,
he was probably getting top as he's making the video. I mean, maybe I'm going too far. I don't know.
Top of the morning, everyone.
Jesus Christ.
That's horrible. Point is, this isn't the first time somebody's done something or said something hypocritical. It's just when you gain so much of a following and you're under the microscope, as soon as you slip, people gonna notice. So,
sir, yes,
but don't. Just advice to anybody. Don't ever go through some bullshit that you created and then say it's God's fault. Just don't do that
oh my God, I hate that. Every time somebody gets in trouble, the first thing they want to run to is God. The first thing they want to run to is God, and I'll see you in court. Those are the two things you always hear when somebody get in trouble, bro. It's just, and the way he was trying to explain how, it's God's fault. Usually people blame the devil. This is the first time I see somebody blame God for them making a mistake. I mean, you got that all the way backwards, bro. Because the first thing he would have said, God would have told you to stay loyal to your wife, fam. He would have said nothing about go out there with these hoes.
You can blame or use God as a permission for any situation ever. Like, just don't. It's cheap.
I feel like it's human nature for people to kind of like want to
Franklin
something.
Kirk Franklin just cussed out his son, knowing damn well these people have been living off Jesus' praises for the last 35 years of his life. Not once did he say, God told me to do it. Nah, bro, this is just me being a man in a world where I do serve a God sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And best believe, Kirk Franklin's music took a spike the last 2 weeks because people was not listening to the song "Stomp" the same way. It was like, yes, Lord. People gonna start beating their kids' ass in the name of Jesus. I like Kirk Franklin.
That really backfired on that dude just because he's a grown ass man too. That was if he was like a kid, it'd be a different story. But most people were just like, I cuss at my kids way crazier than this.
It's whack it's already whack, and it looks dumb when people try to like bury like their ex-girlfriends or like their brothers or cousins or somebody who's not even that. But then you're talking about like your family.
Yeah.
One of the only people who's probably the reason why you grew up with money. Like, I'm sorry, we're even, bro. You can cuss me out all you want.
I was listening to that thing and I was so confused. I'm like, you sound like he cussing at you, be mad at you, but it also sound like he want to preach to you at the same time. I was thinking he was like, you ungrateful nigga, you better turn to Matthew 17.
Cussing preacher. Oh my
That's what
God.
I was waiting. That's what I was waiting for, honestly. But
that's fucking hilarious.
They got him. It shocked me. I was sitting there. I was in my truck, and I did a. But hey, who knows? Who knows how long that son's been bugging him? Like, who knows the actual backstory to what was actually
this
happening.
Makes me so.
We just get the little snippet of him cussing.
This makes me so much more of a Kirk Franklin fan. I mean, just to know that this guy will beat your ass, cuss you out, and then pray for you. Like, that's just security. That's all anybody ever wanted in a father. You know what I'm saying?
That's part of his gospel. You know, he was like, these same stripes is the same thing Jesus took for you. Now let us pray.
Oh my God. And keeping it kind of in the realm of like cheaters, allegedly, or Quavo and Saweetie do call it quits, but there's a little bit of seems like a discrepancy in the situation. Saweetie basically went on Twitter alleging that he we are. And allegedly that Quavo has been kind of giving affection and time to other women even though he's been like, showering her with gifts and whatnot. And a couple months ago, she was just talking about niggas don't love you unless they buy you a Birkin bag and stuff like that.
Can we just start listening to people's music and believe what they say, even if most of it is bullcrap and they're trying
nigga, that's my type. That's my type. Nigga.
All they do is glorify the lifestyle of I get any bitch I want, buy her this, she want to hang out, me and her friends, this and that. And then you think we're just gonna eat all that up and just believe that you're the nicest guy off mic. Like, come on, bro. Sweetie can't be that stupid. And plus, all these girls that become like somewhat of like Instagram celebrities and got their notoriety through someone else's success to a degree. I know she has her own stuff going on, but are you really that surprised? Because every time people break up, they're so quick to hit media and Instagram. This what he did. This what they did. This. Well, did y'all really care about each other? Because even if somebody disappoints me, I'm not going to throw them under the bus because you want everybody else to see them in a negative way that you do now. That's not grown. You don't look better than him by throwing him under the bus like that. It just makes you look messy too. If you didn't like him, walk away and be quiet about it.
Especially because, like, generally speaking, you see what's kind of going on. You like with Offset and Cardi B, like we keep seeing him get caught in the media or whatever, something is exposed or whatever. But it's like for Quavo, like I've never heard nothing about him. Like never seen him out, like no pictures or nothing with nobody else. Never seen no girls all over him or whatever. It's always him and Sweetie. He just did this for her. He just did that for her. Or, like they're together in a video or something on Instagram Live, whatever the case may be. So seemingly they seem like a pretty ideal couple. You know what I mean? Like they're happy together or whatever. But then like this kind of comes around, especially off the tail end of like, I think there was an interview that came out where she talked about like finessing gifts out of dudes from her past or whatever. And like, and I think her ex-boyfriend was there or whatever. But like, and then like the next day we hear like, oh, they're splitting up or whatever. And it was just like, what the hell? Like, where did this come from? Like this seems so random. It's like, of course, when a woman's fed up, she's going to leave, like, so maybe it is possible when behind the scenes, he may have been cheating or doing something bad, but it's like, you really shouldn't kind of like you said, like you're not being really adult about the situation. You're trying to tarnish his image because of what happened to you, even though nobody else does. This ain't nobody business but y'all. But you're out here trying to tarnish his image. So all he didn't really tarnish your image, but he basically went out there and said, like you're trying to make you're trying to like portray an image right now, and it's false, and you're not the woman I thought you were, and stuff like that. He didn't say anything negative to her at all. He didn't tell you
try to make an example of you.
Yeah. He just said. Like,
but I did like that. Supposedly, he had the repo man come pick up that Bentley he bought her ass not too long ago. So that was confirmed
false. That was confirmed false.
I'm sticking to that narrative though. That's uncredited facts right there.
Uncredited facts. Boss move shit. Give me that Bentley back there and shit. But yeah.
They didn't cash anyway. What the repo man had to come for? Just toss me the keys.
And then I don't know.
So they're officially broken up now, right? They're officially broken up. So what's your over under on the amount of weeks it takes Future to scoop her up?
He's got more of a thing for Bow Wow's ex-girlfriends, not so much Quavo. I think him and Migos are at an understanding. I think that's off limits. I don't think there's.
They're both from ATL, so it would make sense. I don't remember if we looked up why this happened, but Gary Owens and Kenya Duke of 17 years, they call it quits. Gary Owens is a white comedian. I don't know if he's been in a couple films, I believe, too, and he's got some pretty funny stand-up. And a lot of his stand-up has been centered around his relationship with his wife. You know what I mean? Like funny moments of kind of like being a white guy with a black wife, and things like that. So it will be kind of interesting to see like maybe where he goes with his comedy after this moment. You know what I mean? Like it never sounded like they had a bad marriage. It sounded like they had like a fun and loving marriage for the most part. But shit changes all the time. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Never know. You just never know what's going on.
Yeah. But prayers to all those involved in those situations.
All right, Pete, to another marriage out here. Hope you had a prenup, fam. Hope you did.
For sure. We were gonna. Well, you guys still can because I don't really know what's going on. I'm not the biggest sports guy. You guys already know this. And DJ was gonna talk about it with you guys. I'm assuming too. But sports acquisitions, what's going on with y'all teams, or what's going on with some of y'all favorite players? Y'all got anything y'all want to
Any big news, Daniel? I don't really.
My team has done absolutely nothing since the last time we spoke, and I'm pretty pissed off about it. I'm just watching person after person after person get pulled off the list, and I'm sitting here like, we're still doing this holdout for Deshaun Watson. Knowing he's about to get suspended for at least 2 games. Like, he's out of there. He's gonna get us a game suspended for every woman he to mess with this whole year. I'm guaranteeing it right there. There's your uncredited facts for you right there.
20-game suspension? There ain't even 20 games in the season.
That honestly, even with all the sports stuff going on, like baseball season is about to start. Some major injuries have happened in basketball that's shaking up the standings.
It's like the top players of the last decade are pretty much out now.
So
KD, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, Klay
there's
Thompson,
a lot going on, but it's like the biggest story is still
Melo Ball.
Oh yeah.
Shut up.
The clear cut rookie of the year in basketball is now missing the rest of the season. So it's like it's gonna go to the number 2 guy, which is Carson Edwards on Daniel's actual favorite team, but his favorite player is not on that team. So it's like you don't care if he wins.
Anthony Edwards.
Oh, Anthony. Sorry, I don't know what I said. Carson. Did I say Carson Edwards?
Carson.
Who is that? Is that a Did I mix 2 people?
You missed Carson Wentz and
there's no way Edwards. I mixed Carson Wentz. I don't know. Anthony Edwards, my bad. But yeah, there's no
they
real
did
news.
that, and then I saw yesterday that there was the top 100 in all baseball got released yesterday, and your boy Mike Trout was up at number 1 over Mookie Betts, still neck and neck like that. Though. So they're getting the gaps getting closer and closer with him and other people. And then the season starts, and he's like, nah.
I love the fact that we get to watch. A lot of people don't know this because I know baseball's not that real popular. It is in a spread area, but when you you look on social media and stuff, it just doesn't bring the same numbers as football and basketball. But baseball is such an old history, and we still hang on to the names of like Babe Ruth, Willie. Like there's old names where their stats are like they're untouched, But nobody, not even Jordan to basketball, and if I may be honest, except for the rings part. It's harder to get rings in baseball, though, to be very honest. Apart from, like, Jordan and maybe, like I don't know who's the most, like, Tom Brady, kind of, Mike Trout in baseball is that level of baseball. And he's been that since he got into the league. And it's like the most amazing thing, but people never talk about it because baseball's not as popular or this and that. This is 90s Jordan in baseball, which is what Mike Trout's been doing for like 10, 11 years already. And it's literally better than Babe Ruth. like he's literally better than the greatest baseball player of all time. So I don't know. It's really cool. And Mookie Betts is like, I don't know, one of the best in the last 10 years as well.
You can call him Magic Johnson of it too, because that was a big thing when he came to the Dodgers. Everybody's like, he's the Mike Trout he was over in Boston and all that. He's the black Mike Trout pretty much. And then he comes down to the LA in the same city pretty much, and they're out there duking it out. And Mike Trout is still beating him on his numbers and all that. And everybody was talking about like, Tatis was going off last year, and then you look at the numbers and Mike Trout was just still consistent, smacking it.
There's a picture.
I must have forgot.
There's a picture online. I gotta find it for Brandon, where Mike Trout plays center field, and he just went up to try to rob a home run, but he didn't catch it. So he puts his arms down to his side, and as he's falling back to the ground, somebody snapped a photo. He is so high off the ground, and already on his way down. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like in basketball, and people have like made the measurements, or like in basketball, his head would be touching like the white box on top of like 11 feet. Yeah. Stupid. Yeah. So I don't know. But every time I hear Mike Trout, I get hyped because I always forget like this dude's career and life is like slept on in the sports world, except for baseball. You know what I mean? Because even if you don't follow soccer like that,
every time,
Mike Trout need to get some more respect on this.
Every time I see Mike Trout now, I think of that song "Forgot About Dre" every time you see Mike Trout and like he steps. So you see those YouTube clips, and he's like, "I must have forgot about Dre." And it's just Mike Trout right there, bro. Like people don't talk about Mike Trout enough. But
I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you saw it, Brandon, but you might have seen it. There was a clip a few weeks ago of a guy at Top Golf, just where guys tee off or whatever in the driving range, and Mike Trout is a buff white dude with his hat on backwards, and the ball disappears. And everybody in the crowd's like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, that's Mike Trout. Yeah, that's Mike Trout. That ball said, "Gone." Couldn't even see it land, bro.
Back. Oh.
Yeah, I really want to see what he could actually do on a golf course if you're launching that shit 500 yards, like Happy Gilmore status.
Yeah, that's crazy. Since Daniel kind of touched on it real quick, we can just talk about the Deshaun Watson dilemma thing or whatever. Also, welcome back to another installment of Daniel's Conspiracy Corner. So Deshaun Watson right now.
I said nothing.
Deshaun Watson right now is up to 20 accusations currently, right? I think it's
NFL quarterback. If nobody knows, that's an NFL quarterback who recently asked to be traded away from his team because they traded away all the other talent. And then said, we want you to be a part of our rebuild with our new coaches. They hired who they wanted to, didn't tell him nothing. This is a franchise player, top 5 guy in the league pretty much. And he's mad. He's like, bro, y'all lying to me? Our team is ass. I want out. Nobody's mad. But then
you traded my homeboy. You traded my homeboy. But first, y'all didn't introduce him. Black NFL quarterback in my Stephen A. Smith hat, Because what we're about to tell you right now, tell me the last time it happened to a white player. I'm just gonna say that. Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
So yeah.
Wait. But just to tie that in, as soon as all this contractual stuff is being brought to media and on ESPN and on YouTube and everywhere, all of a sudden, when it's time for him to leave somewhere and try to get some money and get a new contract, all these accusers coming out of nowhere. I mean, 20 plus accusers have come out and said that they were all victims of some kind of sexual assault or negative vibe, pretty much,
quote unquote forced sexual interaction.
And I'm not saying
masseuses or something, right?
Yeah, we're not saying we don't take it serious because that's just nobody forceful or whatever. But it's like this guy is one of the smartest minds in football. Like I've watched him break down film. Like he's a thinker. It's just hard for me to believe that a guy who knows he's young, he's got money, he's got to a degree fame. You know what I mean? Like you're not unknown as a NFL quarterback. Not everybody watches football, but you have notoriety, you have money, you can walk down the street, get any girl you wanted or just about, or go to a bar, go to a club, hook up, have promiscuous sex if you wanted to. You don't need to get massages and ask them to touch you like that. If that's exactly what happened, there's 2 ways I'm looking at it. And one of them just don't make sense. You know, like why would you even entertain any of this when you don't have to work that hard for females? Like you, not me. He don't have to work that hard for people.
That's what happens when you spend. So what happens when you spend time dating Mia Khalifa, bro? You just get this fantasy site everywhere you go in your head and all that. You start making crazy decisions. I blame her. She messed with his head, both of them.
But now I just saw a report like a few hours ago that said Deshaun Watson's lawyer, I guess, has proof that one of the original, before the extra 7 got found, one of the original 14 accusers. Well, actually, the original was like 3, and then they kept adding. But when they got to 14, they said that they had proof that one was completely lying. So they're saying, if we can't trust one, we can't trust no. You know the legal side of it. You know how they're going to say it.
But check this out. That's a problem. That's a problem even in itself. Even found innocent of all of this, he's always going to be guilty of it in the court of public opinion.
Public eye. Yeah,
the same way. The
same
way if you get called a rapist or something like that, and then you're acquitted of the charges, everybody look at you. That's your reputation. Right, yeah, definitely.
What did Ben Roethlisberger get in trouble for again?
It's supposed to
He
be.
took a chick into the bathroom that was drunk and messed with her in the
I thought it was like
bar,
underage girl.
the bar
thing or
bathroom.
some shit like
He
that.
had a few things. He had the DUI. He had the motorcycle accident. He had it was all type of stuff.
Yeah, the one you're talking about is when he took a drunk woman into the bathroom at the bar and messed around with her, and then she woke up the next morning and she said no and stuff like that. So he got assault charges for that. But that was way back in, I think that was like 2008 or something like that.
Yeah, you got accused of rape in 2008 in Lake Tahoe at a Harrah's resort. So
exactly where that's at. Oh man, yeah, he did it.
He was suspended for six games. He got suspended. He got suspended for 6 games for unwilling penetration. Now, if we do the math, okay, Deshaun Watson.
So he was found guilty of that and is still in the league.
I don't know if
he was found guilty or not. I think there was a settlement. There's definitely a settlement.
I mean, come on, they punished Adrian. They even punished Adrian Peterson for hitting his kid with a belt or something, like disciplining him. You know, he didn't. It's not like he Ray Rice the chick in the elevator, or you know what I mean. Like, there's all type of different circumstances.
Rice got the fuck up on out of there after he did that.
We talking about being in trouble, whether he did it or not. We talk about being in trouble for only 6 games for a rape allegation. Yeah. Well, 22 PP touches does not equate to rape quite yet. So I'm thinking 2 to 3 games.
Man, I'm feeling so bad for him right now. It's like the math problem from hell for this dude. It went from 1 to 3 to 7 to 14 in the span of 3 days.
But 22
it's
now.
Crazy. And now it's 22.
It's like 20. Goodness, it's 20 plus. And then I just found out yesterday that the most recent one in the timeline, not the recent claim, but the recent moment that this happened was this month. March 2021. Right, exactly. So it's like, bro, crazy. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, I feel like it's now it's my conspiracy corner. I feel like there was all willing participants. If it did happen, they were all willing participants. They were like, oh, it's Deshaun Watson. You know, you're this big superstar, this and that. They let it happen. One girl got, was just, I'm going to report it. And then everybody else was like, oh, she going to get money for that. Oh, yeah, he did the same thing. Boom, boom. Hey, Teresa, get on the phone, call the lawyer, this and that. Stacey, you can call him too. Like, it's all a gang of issue, I think, for me, just because they came out of nobody would have said anything if it wasn't for the first one. And it's what you call the Step 2 movement thing, to everybody's going to speak up and say they did it and they did it and they did it. The same thing happened to that politician, Brett Kavanaugh, and all that. And then he ended up getting, I don't even remember what happened with that. But a lot of the times, the same thing happened to Antonio Brown too, just accusations after accusations and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you can tell whether or not, you know, I said this before, the same exact thing with Antonio Brown. If they're going to a civil lawsuit, they're trying to extort money from you. Yeah, if you actually did something like that, they would go to the federal court.
We're talking about, and we're comparing them to situations that we know about that might include 2 or 3 people. We're talking about 3 weeks worth of bitches. We talking about 21 to 22 girls, bro. Like, that's crazy. And then the fact that some of them say that not only was it like maybe like at a massage place or like through a business, he's hitting people up on Instagram. And it's like,
well, if that was true, we'd see the DMs then, right?
Maybe. And another conspiracy, not even trying to, but you know, because of the COVID protocols in the NFL, I was saying, why wouldn't the NFL team, if this guy really wanted massages that bad, why wouldn't the NFL team be like, yeah, we got trainers, dude, what do you need? You know, if it was literally just for sex, he knows that brothels exist, right? Like, he could have, no, I'm just being real. Like, if you have a itch that you need to scratch, do what you can to make it as legal as possible, especially when you're talking about somebody who brings in millions of dollars.
But you don't understand. You don't understand. He just gave his life to Christ last week, you know, and all of a sudden his life started just going.
Bro, niggas be horny, bro. Niggas be horny. It's crazy. I don't think I ever been that horny where I needed to, like, you know, like, I mean, just like.
But I mean, at the same time, we ain't getting the same level of chicks being thrown at you at the same time too. I've seen the pictures, a couple of them.
You that horny? You that horny? I mean, even.
Hey man, I've been away from the significant other for the last 10 months. I've been getting knocked around. This is and that. I'm tired. I want somebody to help me out over here. I need some relaxation.
Even moving away from the Deshaun Watson thing and moving into the Stop Asian Hate situation, the
Wait, what?
So I'm gonna tell you why the niggas are horny. So apparently a white terrorist went around Atlanta and shot at least 8 people, like Asian descent. I guess maybe like 2 of them were like Pacific Islanders, something like that too. And allegedly is because he was horny. Obviously, he targeted a specific race or a specific group of people, which is super fucked up, and it's an act of racism. Yeah, but they're trying to say, like, I think it was like the chief of the police out there, something like that, or like a sheriff or something. He said that like he was having a really bad day, and they're trying to make it more so about him being a sex addict and being horny versus him like being a racist, or a white terrorist for that matter, Is super.
Well, he gonna have plenty of opportunities to bust that nut in prison. Okay.
Which is another super crazy thing that these motherfuckers
why is he alive?
Keep going to prison and not being dead, but whatever. That's neither here nor there.
By the time he get out of prison, his fart's gonna be sounding like.
Oh my god.
He'd be lucky if they sound like that. I thought it'd be more of a. Sheesh, that's bad.
But yeah, there's so in the last 10 days, that was the first shooting that happened, and then another one actually happened, I think, yesterday. There was a shooting, a man named Ahmad Aliwi Alyssa, charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder for a Colorado shooting. I think it was at a supermarket of some sort. I mean, shit, you might not want to open up the outside if it's about to go down like this, man. It's just a lot in a short period of time.
And now people are just gonna blame the one thing that we're supposed to be the most sensitive about: mental illness. You could claim mental illness on everything, just like they've been doing in the courtroom just forever. Like oh, he's pleading insanity. Oh my God, kill him, bro. Come on. Sorry.
Now they're gonna blame the guns. He'll be like, see, we gotta start taking these guns away from these people.
Real quick.
It's on page 427 of the COVID bill. If you didn't know that. Anyway.
Real quick too, because Daniel brought her up earlier, and I'm a huge advocate of Mia Khalifa, but she made us. I follow her on Instagram, whatever. She put on her story back in 2017, 2018, or whatever. I gave away my rifle, kind of to show solidarity or whatever, to kind of put into the problem. Maybe there should be stricter gun laws. Maybe should blah, blah, blah. She started going off about, if you think that, you need a semi-automatic weapon in your house, you're part of the problem. If you think that blah, 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 you're part of the problem, et cetera, et cetera. And I wanted to say, shut the fuck up. Because at the end of the day.
Because you could also be part of the solution.
Yes. Criminals are criminals. It doesn't matter about the laws. It doesn't matter what law-abiding citizens are doing. People who want to do bad things are going to do bad things.
I could shoot you with a bullet, or I could shank you with a pencil.
Yeah.
Evil is evil.
Things. Yeah, you don't do bad things just because the opportunity is present or whatever. Like, I'm not walking on the street and I'm like, oh, I got a pistol in my hand. Let me just go around and start shooting people. That's not – this took thought. This was premeditated. It wasn't just a spur of the moment thing. Like, oh, I just feel like going around shooting everybody up today. Like, no, even in that slight thought I had, it's still premeditated. It's not. It wasn't just a spur of the moment thing or random thing or whatever. It's not even an accident. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell when something is an accident or not, right? We just had some fucking dumbass. One of our friends, shout out Lexi, her old roommate, fucking shot his gun because he was cleaning it, which showed me that like it is somewhat of an accident, but still very preventable. Finger on the trigger well. Why the fuck is your weapon loaded while you're cleaning it? Clearly you're.
Where's the safety?
Yeah, exactly. Like I think it was a Glock, so there's no safety on it. But either way, he's an idiot, obviously, right? Like no awareness. Like just
shout out to him.
Stupid ass, yeah, stupid as fuck. Anyway, but moving on from there, but it's like so that really bothered me, and I was just like, damn, I'm gonna still fuck with you, but shut the fuck up about this. Just shut up, right? But anyway, So yeah, like you said, we could be a part of the solution. Essentially, gun owners and stuff like that. So I don't agree with that. I don't think that.
By the way, also, every single vehicle is a weapon.
That too.
Every single vehicle, every car, that is one of the most dangerous things you can use and operate. And it is a weapon if that's how you choose to see it. Just throwing that out there.
Yes, sir.
More people died of car accidents than bullets, so let's just remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not to say bullets are okay. I agree. There is a thought behind if we remove all weapons, there will be no killing to weapons.
Yeah,
but
it's
people who want to kill,
thought, but yeah.
People who want to kill will replace that with
It's
whatever
like
they have to.
It's like a misguided attempt at trying to regulate killings from guns and bullets.
It reminds me of that scene in Undercover Brother where he goes to shoot the person and the gun falls apart. He's like, screw it, I can throw this bullet at you.
Yeah, but yeah, super crazy. What else we got? There's not really much else on the docket, like important stuff. Real quick, just kind of no screaming on the roller coasters in California. I thought that was fucking insane. Like, you want to open up theme parks, but you don't want people to scream on roller coasters.
Okay, make your ride less exciting.
That's kind of like, I don't think that's like people aren't just screaming to scream. I feel like that's like just a response, like, oh my God, I'm falling at 100 miles per hour, on a fucking straight shot down, like it's. Well,
y'all should have heard.
I'm hanging here.
Y'all should have heard. Y'all should have heard your boy Brandon when we went to Six Flags at one time. Oh my goodness, we got on X2. He was screaming like a white girl. This dude was up there. Why are we on this? Why are we doing this?
Relax. That ride was super intense, though. I did not think it was gonna be that crazy. Like, it starts out backwards. I was like, this is who the fuck thought of this shit? This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely insane. And I guess like the last regular news announcement, I moved to Arizona. Congrats. Hey.
You there already?
There goes the neighborhood.
Oh, wow. Are you in your place already?
So the situation that I'm working with right now, me and David, we found a spot. I actually need to fill out the application right now, so I'm trying to kind of wrap this up soon and then knock it out so I can send it to him. But we found three spots technically that we want to stay in, but I'm already in a spot in Yuma, though, like that has me covered or whatever. He starts his job here on the 29th. I think he's out here today. He either has to come out here today or later this week for his TB test, and then his first official start date is the 29th. So then we'll be out here. We're probably looking at like the Casa Grande area is probably where we're going to be at. Everything's working out pretty good, man. And I mean, all my stuff's in the storage out here. So pretty much what's going to happen at some point is I'm probably going to fly back, probably going to get another U-Haul, take everything with us, drop his stuff off, drive back to the Phoenix area to my storage, then drop everything off again. So definitely got some moving to do. We're going to probably hire a couple of your cousins, Joey, knock it out for us, Just play.
Brandon, where I can get some good fried fish? I got more questions if you like. Let me know. Jesus and Jorge will be on their way. Don't worry about it.
But now, everything's pretty good, and so I'm pretty excited about that. It looks like it's feeling really good. Just feeling really good about the situation in general.
That's what's up. Congratulations, because I know when you had first started working out there, maybe 2 years ago, like on and off.
Yeah.
Something like that. You was just like not feeling it, bro. Like all these drives back and forth, and at least you got one person to go with you.
For sure.
For now, anyway. You never know.
For sure.
He put the strong arm and got his money and everything, bro. He stepped up. I'm proud of him.
You got to, man. You got to.
Don't let him turn you into an alky.
Hell no. Never that. Mm-hmm. We can move on to some entertainment.
What's an alky?
Alcoholic.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like them alkaline freaks.
Oh wow. Anyway, moving on to some entertainment.
You know what?
News.
Actually, but real quick before you move on, I lived in Arizona for a little bit, and the thing that stood out to me the most, apart from like the sunsets and sunrises are like unbeatable in the desert. They just look way better. Monsoons are cool. Yeah. Kind of suck to get stuck outside maybe in your truck or whatever when it's going on and the power goes out and you can't get gas. Like one time I was stuck. Those are cool. The thing that really got me tripping though was the homeless. how the fuck are y'all out here?
Yeah,
bro, it's 1:15. I could fry an egg in the street.
Yeah.
It blew my mind, bro. And they got that, I call them lizard people because they got that alligator skin. You know what I mean? Especially like the white people in Arizona. They just a different breed, bro. White people out here, California, 5 minutes of sun. Oh my God, aloe vera. I give you that. Arizona, it's like they cover themselves with like sand and mud, and they're just like ready to go. It's incredible. It's crazy. But go ahead, entertainment stuff. That just it always goes back to my head. My first day in Arizona, I had a homeless guy come up to me and ask me for money, and he was, you know, like you have like white people have like that red sunburn, really bright color. It was a different red, you know. It was like some fresh brick. Some fresh brick color.
Fresh brick. What the
and I just didn't know how he could do it, bro. I could not do it. It took me 3 weeks. It took me 3 weeks to get used to that desert heat. But I still that's crazy.
I'm surprised it hasn't got that high yet, to be honest, too. Like it's the highest I think it's been right now is like 82. So I know it's around the corner.
On its way.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
On its way.
Enjoy it while it lasts. It's a calm before the storm.
Literally. New music. We got Code of the Friend with Kill a Sunrise and Benny the Butcher with the Plugs I Met Too. Is that supposed to be a play on Tequila Sunrise?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. I listened to it. It was a pretty dope album. It's actually Code of the Friend and Static Selecta. I guess he produced the majority of the album. I liked it. It was pretty enjoyable. I only gave it one listen. I'm probably gonna listen to it again too, actually, as well as the album, The Plugs I Met Too by Benny the Butcher. I know Daniel. He's actually the reason why I did listen to it because I didn't even know that Code of the Friend dropped another album. I was like, oh shit, Code of the Friend out here like that. Let's check it out. What about you, Daniel? What you think about it?
Oh, I loved it. That's why I immediately went and told you guys about it. I was like, I'm loving this because he was like rapping. And usually I don't really hear him rapping like that all the time. And then like every song with Static Selecta, you know, putting those beats on the boom baps and all that. I was like, okay, this is more of my style here. You know, I'm like the lyrical miracle type of guy. So I love how he was doing that. So I really enjoyed it. If anybody doesn't know who Code of the Friend is, you can start here.
Yeah. Joy, did you take a listen yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't got to hear it yet.
And Benny the Butcher, The Plugs I Met Too, which was also kind of like a Benny the Butcher and Harry Fraud joint. Harry Fraud produced the majority of it, I guess. That one had some super dope tracks. And it's so weird that like, and I can't say this about a lot of rappers, but like Benny the Butcher and like Conway and like Westside Gunn, they kind of rap about the same thing consistently, but for some reason, like since they can talk about it in a different way and it just isn't like most people you would get stale. It's stale content. Like, man, we heard this already. Like even like with the whole Logic thing, you know what I mean? Like, damn, half black, half white, we get it already, man. Fuck. But like, I don't know why I don't get tired of hearing them. Like they're always talking about the struggle, their past with like, selling drugs and then just like kind of being like that nigga or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't know how this does not get boring to me. Like, but I think a lot of it does have to do with the production. The production's fire and they like obviously they hold their own when it comes to like spitting bars too, obviously. So I definitely recommend that if you guys haven't checked that out yet. And last
Are we still in music?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, while we're in music, let's bring up the versus battles that they were bringing up.
Yes, sir. It's not a bad idea. Let me pull it up for you guys real quick.
Sexy lady.
So as we know, Versus has moved over to Triller, so you can catch it on Instagram. I think you can catch it on Instagram, YouTube, and Triller at the moment. Not on Apple TV no more. So
really?
Next we have
Damn,
so
that was my best place to watch it.
Next we have the Isley Brothers versus Earth, Wind, and Fire on April 4th, which will be Easter Sunday. And then we have the How High 420 special, April 20th, Method Man versus Redman.
I want to see Kirk Franklin versus NWA. I think that's really really strong.
We have there's three more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know why I said 3 more. There's 6 more in total. 3 that are on special or have like a special like a title attached to it. The next verses after Redman Method Man is still to be determined. The Mother's Day special is also to be determined, but that one looks like a singular act. It looks like more of a concert versus an actual verse. It's kind of like the D'Angelo thing. It's just one person, Mother's Day special on May 9th. Then we have a rematch, apparently, on Memorial Day weekend. It hasn't said who yet, but it looks like there's a rematch of some sort. Then we have 3 more that are to be announced, but one of them is a ladies' night. So, we'll probably get some good R&B in there. Or maybe we either get some good R&B or we'll get some independent woman, type of like maybe like a Lil Kim, Foxy Brown, some shit like that, maybe Missy Elliott or something. I don't know. Something more so for the ladies, I mean.
You said ladies night and then proceeded to say Lil Kim. I digress. Plus a dad real quick.
But yeah, so that's what we got next up for verses. Obviously the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind and Fire are kind of the talk of the town at the moment, since that's the one that's coming up next.
Now they want to show
some thoughts about that.
They want to show the old school love now. Maybe I'm just, and I admitted to it. I love old school music, and I'm quite the hipster when it comes to it. And I'm actually somebody who, quite a few people come to me like, hey, you got any playlists with some old school stuff or like some. Like Daniel asked me, like, do you recognize this sample from like a new song where it's like an old one? And I'll be like, oh yeah, it's this, or sometimes I don't know. So I'm very in tune with the old school sound because I'm just a firm believer in. I feel like melody peaked at a certain time, which is why they still sample the old stuff, because like at that you can't beat those melodies, it seems, So it's cool. It's almost how I feel about like when Bruno Mars wasn't getting too much play in like the mainstream. Like we acknowledge he's good, but nobody wanted to really bump him until there was a remix with Cardi B. And it's like, what, bro? Like the songs were good already, And that's kind of how I feel a little bit with the old school. I'm glad that the old school is getting played. I just know I'm going to get annoyed for 2 to 3 weeks after that versus happens when people start finally showing love to the old school, which I should be happy about it. But the hipster side of me is like, like, yo, yeah, now you show love, like now you want to, it's just one of those things. But ultimately, I'll be happy when I see it, though. It's a hipster thing, I guess.
For sure. And before I forget,
I know a lot of people feel that way about anime right now, and the surgence of like Pokemon cards.
For sure. That's an absolute fact. And before I forget too, I don't know why I didn't add this to the docket, but the 14th annual freshman issue for Double XL is coming out, and it's already been the 10 freshmen or whatever have already been released. We got Pooh Shiesty, the Kid Leroy, who I don't know, Ian Dior, SSG Kobe, who I don't know, Chef G, J.I. the Prince of New York, Tusi, SG, who I don't know, Coy Leroy, 42 Doug, and Snot, who I don't know. So there's like 4 people on here who I don't recognize, actually, which is kind of weird. I would think that I would recognize a lot more of these people.
I think that's kind of the purpose of the magazine, though, is because, I mean, if they're rookies, there's supposed to be a lot you don't know. True. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know any of these people. At first, that person in the middle on the picture that you sent, I thought that was Tory Lanez. And I thought the person above that was Young and May with a hat backwards. And I thought that was Janae Aiko at the bottom. So I was like, who are these people? I thought we know them already. But
so just off top,
I don't know any of these people, so it's doing it good.
Just off the top, from what I can remember from this year to last year, I feel like last year had a lot more names that I already kind of knew.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's just, every year they do XL freshmen, so we'll see what.
I was going to show the picture.
And those things look like.
Let me see if it'll focus right there. Look at Young and May, Janae Aiko, Tory Lanez.
And moving on from music and into movies and TV, the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier was released. We can I have an idea for that one, and I want to kind of do another recording for that, just because I feel like we're kind of running out of time. I don't know how much time is actually left on this, but Falcon and Winter Soldier first episode was released. Just giving a brief details. I like the commentary about kind of being black in America still. Took the show from a black dude. Spoiler alert. I don't want to just say took, but just talking real quick. Took the show from a black dude, gave it to a white dude. We see Winter Soldier trying to adjust to his life and kind of atone for his sins. which is super cool. You guys watched it, right? Oh, you watched it, right, Joey?
I watched it in 2 parts, but you know me,
Okay.
I'm not really knowledgeable with like this realm of people, so like I'm still trying to,
Okay.
you know,
But it's fun though. Action was super great, like always. Like that's what I was
was good
looking forward
action.
to for this. The action sequences and the choreography for this show is going to be off the chain. I already know, so I'm looking forward to that. They introduced some new characters too, obviously with the Flag Smashers and the kind of guy that's like kind of keeping in contact with the Falcon. So that's pretty cool too. So we'll see how the rest of the series goes. I'm assuming it's going to be another 9 episode season, just like WandaVision. So we'll see it. You know how that goes. What else? Warner Brothers is working on a new DC film for Zatanna. She's a powerful magic user. Um, she's her thing is like saying spells backwards. That's how she does her magic or whatever. And she kind of looks like
Wait, no. Say that again.
Her
It's
magic.
what backwards?
Her magic's like when she casts a spell, she says them backwards. That's how her powers work.
You said you said her name is what backwards?
Zatanna. No, I don't know what her name is backwards, but her name is Zatanna. But she casts her spells by saying them backwards. So like, imagine if she was casting firebolt, she would say the word firebolt backwards, basically. You know.
Okay. I could have sworn you said Satan. That's why I was like, what?
No.
Anyway.
Zatanna. Yeah, but.
Okay.
Close.
Yeah. She kind of and you guys may have seen her in old cartoons or something, but she kind of looks like a magician's assistant or something, kind of dressed up in those kind of getups, you know, leggings with like a little corset or something, and like a coat. She's like a top hat. So like, anyway.
Is that the one? That's the one that's supposed to be played by Olivia Munn. Is that her?
Oh, I don't know if it is or not. I haven't really looked into it. Supposedly there's already information out there, but I didn't even know this was coming. I just realized that there's a lot of movies coming from Warner Brothers as far as DC films. They got a Static movie coming out, Superman reboot coming out. They got the dude from Twilight's Batman coming out. There's a plethora of films that are supposed to be on the way, and we have no idea if we're going to continue with the Snyderverse or not. Which I'm going to get back into that real quick. Snyder Cut was released, which nobody thought that was going to happen.
It's right here. It is. It is Olivia Munn.
Awesome. Yeah, stop Asian hate. Yeah. Snyder Cut was released. You know, nobody thought that was ever going to happen. It was 4 hours movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It kind of gave a lot more character depth. Some things were changed for the better, in my opinion. Cyborg and Flash got a lot more, you know, they got a lot more action and screen time in the movie, which was awesome to me. And at this point, I really wish they would do the Justice League 2 and 3. The storylines, which have been revealed for, another spoiler alert just for y'all, just in case. I mean, they could or could not do it. I mean, Warner Bros. Would be kind of dumb to not do it. But as of right now, they're saying they have no interest in trying to create the Snyderverse or continue forward with that film. But essentially, Justice League 2 would have been about like the nightmare or whatever. They would have made Superman into a cuck, and then Lois Lane and Batman would have had a kid, and then they would have died, and then Superman would be distraught, and then it would kind of turn into which is this is why I'm kind of glad they're not doing it. It would have turned into the Avengers with the time, going back in time, and then Batman sacrificing his life instead of Lois Lane dying, and then correcting everything so that this whole thing with Superman doesn't happen. It was super crazy, but yeah, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. We're gonna see obviously what happens from this.
I don't think, and just me speaking from somebody who doesn't really follow that quite yet. Like I'm on Disney Plus now, trying to go to the beginning of all these storylines and all the everything, all the comic book threads. But it sounds to me like, just from watching movies, the original Justice League, the original Justice League that wasn't the Snyder Cut. It sounds to me like they're going to have to build off of that storyline, because then you're going to have people who saw that movie and know that the Snyder Cut is just this is the part B. This is the one that didn't make the original cut. That's what they're going to. So now you're going to have people who probably didn't watch this version, and they're going to make a new movie moving forward with it. But it's that don't make sense with the movie that came out. So now you're going to have people go back and watch the Snyder Cut just to watch the next movie. Yeah. Which one's the official? You would have to kind of go with the first one.
It's kind of a mess, just in the sense that Henry Cavill supposedly left. I feel like I heard something about him coming back, but I can't remember. but Henry Cavill left. Batman or Ben Affleck doesn't want to be Batman anymore because of the the whole controversy with everything. Like he was actually slated to direct and star in his own Batman film and then dropped out of that. You know what I mean? Like everything that's kind of fell apart. The only things that kind of really stuck around, and even Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg, he basically claimed about like negligence in the workplace, like racism and stuff like that. And Warner Brothers pretty much just keeps refuting that. You know what I mean? At every turn. So you got Cyborg, Batman, and Superman who are not really part of this anymore. I've heard controversy about Ezra Miller, but apparently he's still getting his movie for as of right now at least. And then you got Aquaman and Wonder Woman still left, Gal Gadot. And then people were not happy with Wonder Woman 1984. I'm sure it still did numbers, but the reviews were not as good as the first Wonder Woman. And then we're waiting on Aquaman 2, obviously. So
no, we're not. No, we're not. As long as Amber Geiger's still in there, we ain't not waiting for Aquaman 2.
Well, I mean, yeah, nobody's her in there. Although I do want to say, I want to give a quick shout out because that was fucking sick how she tried to take the blood out of his face. That was fucking sick. I did not see that coming. Yeah, I did not see that coming, but that was kind of cool. But anyway, so people suggest that Warner Brothers are probably going to keep up with this and move forward with this because it was a great story. Overall, overall the story is the same. The key differences being that like people knew Darkseid was on the way from this. But like you get to see him, you get to see Granny Goodness, you get to see Desaad. They know where to go now. They know how to get to Earth. It wouldn't really make as much sense. Well, I guess in the original movie he came from Darkseid supposedly, but this one he was already like outcasted and came to Earth first, and then he was trying to do this so he could go back home or whatever to Darkseid or to Apocalypse or whatever, right? So we'll see where it goes. It would, like I said before, it would be foolish for them to not pick this up, especially with how successful it's seemingly been over this past weekend. Everybody's talking about it. Most people with a platform are giving it positive reviews, solid reviews, and mainly just for the things that they said that were like not good in the first one. Like their character development wasn't good in the first one. Flash and Cyborg were kind of jokes in the first one. Cyborg got so much more like everybody's saying it, but he was the heart of the film. You know what I mean? Like his father quickly made him realize what he was capable of, and that was such an important and integral part of how the rest of the film played out. I mean, from him dealing with the mother boxes, from him dealing with fucking making the ship fly for Batman, from him joining the team, just so on and so forth. Just like he did so many things because he understood what he was, or he understood more so what he was through his father's research. And in the original film, he was just kind of like randomly piecing it together along the way. You know what I mean? And it's like, Cyborg's a genius. He's a genius level intellect with the power to do anything that he wants through the technology that's on Earth. You know what I mean? So it was really good to see him depicted in a much better light. And of course, Barry Allen, I mean, watch the fucking movie. Do I need to say more? The last scene in part 5, not the epilogue, was just fucking phenomenal. I mean, I never thought I would get the chance to see something like that. Like, I mean, we get a brief glimpse of his ability, like halfway through the film when they're bringing Superman back to life, and at the end of the movie, we get to see like, yes, this is a fully realized Flash. Like, look at what he saved the world, like single-handedly, pretty much saved the world at the end of the movie. So I mean, it's incredible. I mean,
spoiler alert.
Yeah, for sure. That's about it, I guess, as far as that's concerned. I had a poll real quick. I was just probably going to ask, what do you like better, the 2017 Justice League or the 2021 Justice League? Simple enough, right? So I'll do that one.
You know my answer. The 2021 one. This one was legit, bro.
For sure.
So it sounds to me like you guys are probably on pace with most of the fans that watch these movies, and it sounds to me like most of those fans are gonna want a continuation from the Snyder Cut. So whatever movie they make next, if they're going in accordance with that timeline or that story, they're just gonna say there's gonna be more people that have seen the Snyder Cut than that haven't, than those who haven't. So it's just gonna have to be it's just weird. Like, it's just difficult with any movie if you have an original and then but here's the other story, but now here's the part 2. Like, which one are you going with? Yeah. So I could see that being very, very problematic from like a producer standpoint, where you're like, damn, now your mind's all over the place. Like, if I take this from this movie, you can't take a little from both. Like, you can't take
especially
from both, you know?
Especially after they introduced, I think it was like 5 new characters in this movie. Like they had a bunch of them had separate cuts. They were like, oh yeah, we're gonna, by the way, this is the person you wanted to see in the first one. We didn't put it in here, but we'll put it somewhere within this wide range of 4 hours of movie we put in here. So I got to see people. If Darkseid had been in the first one, he probably would have way better movie. The fact that I could see that much of Darkseid, bro, I was pretty legit happy about
what
that.
Sucks is, think about Snyder, the director or whatever. He got through what'd you say, 80% of the movie, and then had to bounce
something like that. And then I think he had a
now that his cut came out and you have all these, you know, fans and even critics or whoever and giving it high praise from what I heard, not just from you guys, but from other people who I know who are kind of involved in that genre or whatever. Everybody's kind of pleased with it. More so impressed. Like, whoa, we finally get to see like you said, more character building and all that stuff.
Sure.
How do you think the director feels? Not just Snyder, because obviously Snyder's like, oh shit, they fuck with me, you know, pat on the back. But what about the other director who finished the first movie?
People are
getting shitted on.
Yeah, people are saying he's probably done with Hollywood. Like
like that. So then
I don't know. So
that sounds easy to me. Then if I make a next movie, I would go off the Snyder cut if that's how the fans really feel.
For sure. I mean, and people have pointed out that like Zack Snyder's like directing style is like usually a long-winded directing style. You know, that's just what benefits him. I mean, some people say like, oh, like there's no way this could have worked in theaters because it's a 4-hour-long movie. Obviously.
Too long.
But I was like, I could see a 3-hour cut at least. You know what I mean? There's parts that like are not necessary to be in the movie. Necessary? I don't know why I said it like that, but there's parts that aren't necessary to be in the movie. Like, spoiler alert once again. Pause. Keep going. Martian Manhunter's little appearances, they're not required to be in the film. They don't like take away or add to the plot of either of them. The one at the end or the one where he proposes Martha Kent to talk to Lois Lane. The meetings with Desaad, Darkseid, and Steppenwolf, they're not necessary parts. I mean, hell, I could barely tell the difference between the first meeting and the second meeting, aside from the fact that Darkseid was in the second meeting, obviously, you know. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like they could have tried to end when he's like showing the boom tube and he's like, look, we have the world or whatever, you guys can come here, and then bam, like, oh shit, it's Darkseid. Like that probably would have been cooler all around as far as like an appearance, you know, like we know he was here in the past, cool. We don't even know that he's in contact with him or whatever. Then at the end of the movie, boom tube opens up, Darkseid's in the portal, granny goodness, Desaad, oh shit, the armies of Apocalypse right there ready to go, and then fucking, you know, the movie ends how it ends or whatever, right? So there's a couple just additional things that weren't necessary, but it just changes kind of like the way the film goes a little bit. But I mean, it was still good overall, you know, for sure. I could see like a minimum of 3 hours maybe cutting out of just a couple scenes, but it is what it is.
No, I was there for the whole full 4 hours. I was ready.
Oh yeah,
took energy drinks, popcorn, and everything. I would definitely love seeing that in the theaters for 4 hours, bro. That was especially in AMC where they got the lean back chairs in there.
I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do 4 hours.
A 4 hour movie, you gotta have a intermission. There's no way you can finish that movie without a 15-minute break, 20-minute break.
For sure.
Well, it depends. It depends because the crowds go like it gets you super hyped when you're with a bunch of crowds and a bunch of nerds that are just like you that can enjoy all this type of stuff. Like going to those Marvel premieres and sitting with those people and having everybody yell at the screen when something crazy happens. I can definitely see that happen with this Snyder cut, and people be there for it for the whole 4 hours yelling, just like, finally we get to see this, finally we can do this and this and that. Like everybody's hype in there.
I think the problem with that though is like how I was like talking about those scenes. Like all those scenes are lulls in the movie, so it's like the movie isn't action packed, but there's definitely action throughout the movie. Like, I mean, even in the original one, the beginning scene is obviously the quick little Superman thing, and then Batman trying to catch a parademon right away. In this movie, we get this like long-winded, like slow motion scene of Superman dying, and then the mother box is being awakened, and that was like the first 10 minutes or first 10, 15 minutes. And I was like, damn, this scene still ain't done? Shit, okay, we get it. Like, the mother boxes are waking it up because Superman's fucking dead or whatever. Cool, but that was a great point. Slow motion.
That was a great point though, because throughout the whole first movie, I never connected the point like, oh, they woke up because he's dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it definitely made more sense for the movie. I'm just talking about like throwing a 4-hour movie out there and the people are like sitting down, especially if it's like a midnight premiere. Like I could not, like I went back home to like pack up stuff. So I threw the movie on or whatever. I was up for maybe about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And then I passed out because I was tired. I was like, damn, dude, like it's like 2, 3 in the morning. I'm about to go to bed. Fuck. But I mean, it was a good movie though overall. I finished it the next day. But it definitely is a long time. I mean, hell, Lord of the Rings ain't even that long. Shit. But I don't know if you guys.
What was longer, that Snyder cut or Goku versus Frieza?
Oh Jesus Christ! Probably Goku versus Frieza. It felt like just ridiculously long for, like when you look back on it now, it just felt way long for no reason. I wonder how many.
What was longer, the Snyder cut or Frieza's 5 minutes?
Frieza's 5 minutes. Oh, this planet will self-destruct and fucking. Oh my god, it's fucking funny. But if you guys don't have anything else, though, we close out the show. All right, piglets. This has been another installment of Culture by the Uncultured. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Culture by the Uncultured. Remember, piglets, Culture by the Uncultured is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. We hope everyone out there is staying safe, and if you can be safe, be deadly. Catch you guys next time. Later.
This motherfucker just salute.